I was watching a podcast which you had done earlier. Shout out Raj Shamani, where you explained about the civilizational map of India, and I think the political map of India. So what's the difference between the two?
You see, one of the things that we got to understand is that a civilization is not bounded by a political geography.
Okay.
You see, a civilization, let's say the Indic civilization, in which you'll have all the Indic religions which grew in India. So that territory would be anywhere. I mean, so you go to Nepal, for example. I mean, the civilizational values of the Ramayana and the Mahabharata and the Upanishads, or the prayer traditions that happen in Pashupatinath, are the same as they happen in India, but it's a different country altogether, right? Similarly, in Tibet, there is a continuation of the Buddhist tradition that happens there. So one is the civilizational aspect of a nation, and I would think that all the areas which are reflected in the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, in the writings of Kalidas, for example, that represents the civilizational India.
Okay.
But the political India is the India that India has inherited, or the India which is defined in Article 1, Schedule 1 of a constitution, which very clearly lays down that this is what India is.
Okay.
And that this is the territory of India. These are the states of India. This is the territory of India. So the constitution of India, and when all of us as IAS officers, or when all India service officers, or when the army officers, when they take oath, when the president, prime minister, everybody takes oath, they take an oath, or they solemnly affirm that they will uphold the constitution of India. So the territory that is defined by the constitution of India in Article 1, Schedule 1 is the territory of India as far as I am concerned.
Okay. So, and from 1947 till now, has that changed?
That's changed marginally, because when Sikkim was incorporated into India, and that's 50 years ago, so there's been a change. So India has expanded. We've settled the issue of enclaves and exclaves with Bangladesh.
Okay.
So that happened because the land border agreement with which was passed in 2015. So minor changes there,
So
but major change has been the inclusion of Sikkim within the Indian Union.
So do you think, as you know, a lot of people discuss it in a lot of various forums about the chicken's neck, which we are sitting right now. Now, when Article 1, Schedule 1 was being written about India, so at that point of time, there was nothing called the chicken necks, I guess.
No, because at that point of time, East Pakistan had not been created. At that point of time, all this confusion. And the fact remains that when the partition of India took place, nobody could anticipate that it will lead to such violence. That it will lead to the tensions and the problems were always there, but nobody could imagine the extent that it would take place. And in fact, when violence started, it was an unprecedented violence, especially in Punjab. In Punjab, there was one, it was in one big volcanic eruption.
Yes.
But in the east, it has not been one volcanic eruption. It's been a series of small eruptions which continue. So both are bad. It's difficult to decide which one is worst. But
both are bad.
Both are bad. So at that point of time, it was one could not have, and you see, it's very, very easy to blame people in the past, because it's very difficult to anticipate what would have happened. Absolutely. Very difficult to anticipate what would have happened, what could have happened.
Which I completely agree, because we right now sitting in 2025, we personally were not physically present at that point of time. What are the practical?
Even if one is present at that particular point of time, it is very, you see, some of the major fallacies of all human existence. One is the fallacy of predictability. It's a great fallacy. I mean, we all like to predict the future. We all like to think that, if this is the thing, whether it's simple thing like gold prices shooting up or dollar coming down or, this going up, we like to predict. We like to predict everything. So that is the first fallacy, that we think that we can predict. A second fallacy is the fallacy that we can control. The third is that we can control the behavior of others, which is even more difficult. So these are some of the fallacies with which, but point is that without these, it is difficult again to live, because all your life you will have to base your current decisions on past experience and what you expect to happen. So we never thought, at least the leadership at that time did not think that the relationship would be so acrimonious,